Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica and this is my Inktober series. This is my Inktober days 10 through 13. If you haven't seen my previous videos, I will link my Inktober 2021 playlist in the card above so you can go check it out. The first video I talk about supplies and my prompt list, so if you're interested you can see what I'm working with. This is day 10 and the prompt was hat and broom. It's a very simple and basic piece. I didn't get creative, I guess, with this one, but I really enjoyed the shoes. I thought they were very cute and kind of like some witchy-ish shoes that I just recently purchased for myself that I love. And I came in with my masking fluid and my handy dandy skewer stick to use to put down the masking fluid, which is surprisingly a great way to put it down, I guess. I almost called it a great tool, but I guess you could call it that. It's a stick, basically. And I just went in with different washes. I was trying to work my way around the piece so that way I wasn't touching any wet to wet parts. And for the broom, I basically just did a suggested sticks or straw in the broom. I didn't want to draw out all the details. And for the hat, I laid down the masking fluid and I put some salt in to get some salt effects. Just went over a couple pieces again to darken up some spots, and the fabric or ribbon around the hat got too dark, so I ended up going over with some white ink to lighten it up. And then I touched up some other white parts of the piece, which were just little accents, but overall that was just my prompt for hat and broom, and I thought it turned out pretty good. Moving on to day 11, the prompt was herbs, and for this piece I knew I wanted to do something like this with all these details of bottles and jars and mortar and pestles with herbs in them. So I knew this was going to be a complicated piece. I started the video after I had already done the apothecary word because that alone took me a little while. I was very close up onto like looking at it when I did it, so I didn't want to record it because I figured my head would be in the frame a lot. I originally wanted to do like an apothecary sign, but it just didn't work out with the shape of it just didn't work out with the whole composition of the piece, so I ended up just using the word. If you've seen some of my previous pieces, I have kind of played with some words and typography a little bit. I do like that. But this one I sped up quite a bit. I think at like 2,000% because it took me so long to do this piece. I did not have a mapped out value study for this one like I had done with the previous batches. I usually went in on my iPad with just an airbrush of black and just quickly mapped out colors, but for this one I didn't, so I was really winging it and I took my time to think about it, which made the video longer. I really enjoyed how this came out. This is probably my most detailed piece so far and possibly my favorite. It's, again, none of these pieces are perfect, but I really enjoyed this one, and the perspective might be off a little bit. I thought the pages got too dark. I'm struggling, I guess, a little bit with the values, still trying to get the lightest lights, and I don't know if I'm rushing or what it is, but I thought the pages got too dark of the book, so I darkened the cover, which I did like because then it made the items on it stand out a bit more. And then I do end up going in with the white ink over the pages to try and lighten them up a bit. I did want the center mortar and pestle, the big one on the book, to be kind of like the centerpiece for the picture. And then I kind of added little stuff around it. So that one is got the most contrast. It's got the really white marble mortar pestle and then the darkest details in there. I may have gone a little overboard with the white gel pen and highlights, but again, I was just winging this one, and I love it. I love how this turned out. Obviously, there's little quirks about it. This is day 12, and the prompt was Cauldron. And I thought of all these typical cauldrons over fire and stuff, and I didn't want to do the typical thing. I feel like throughout these pieces I try to do something other than the obvious. So I went with a cauldron mug, and I love tea a lot, so I thought it would be cute. And I've seen these in stores and stuff like that where it's like a cauldron mug, and I've seen where they also like attach the spoon to stir it, so I thought that would be a cute concept, very modern witch, I suppose, to make a cauldron teapot, and then, or a tea mug, and then I have the teapot pouring like a magical tea while this witch is reading a book, and there's glasses on there. So I think it's just a very basic piece. I wanted something a little more simple after doing the apothecary herb one because that one was just so detailed. I was also struggling this week about falling behind. It took me a little bit to get caught up, but I'm actually really proud of all 4 of these pieces, even though they are a little late. I also like to think that certain items in the prompts can refer to my previous prompts or future prompts. So like the teapot, for example, in this one, if you go back to, I think it was day 5, the prompt was books. There was a teapot sitting on the book. So it's kind of like, oh, what if it's the same teapot the witch used and is reading one of the books off the shelf? So I think it's neat to kind of tie them all together. They won't all be like that, but I thought it was neat. And then I just went in with some details. I did like that I darkened the pages of the book underneath the top ones. I wanted the top ones white to really stand out. And then I went in again with the white gel pen for highlights on the glasses, which I thought was a nice touch. I got a little overboard with the shadow underneath the mug, but I enjoyed this piece as well. And the last piece for this video is day 13, which was Bones. And is this not the cutest, goodest boy you have seen? I, again, wanted to do something other than the obvious skeleton or just a skull and some bones laying on the ground. So I took inspiration from Corpse Bride, if you've ever seen it, which I'm sure you have, with the dog named Scraps. He's a little skeleton. He's his dog that had passed away, and I think it's so cute. And in the movie, obviously, it's more cartoony. So for this one, I wanted to do a little more realistic, so I looked up a dog skull and a dog skeleton. It's not anatomically accurate, but I wanted it more realistic than the cartoon in the Tim Burton film. But I really like it. I think he's so cute. I want to make some stickers of him. And because he's a skeleton, which was obviously white bones, I wanted to do a really dark background. So I used the same kind of background I did with the moth in day 4, where I just go in with this Wet n Wet ink washes, and I drop in salt, and to get the bubble glowing orbs is the drops of rubbing alcohol. And I thought it just creates this really like dreamy, magical background for this dog named Bones. And I go through all the ribs to kind of make sure he stands out. And I even added a collar with a dog tag, and I write Bones on it. I'm really happy with this one just because it's so cute. It's not perfect, and it's actually not even that complicated, really. I mean, the bones aren't perfectly shaped and stuff, but I think he's so cute, so look out for some stickers or something of him. So those are the 4 pieces that I created in this video. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm curious to see which one's your favorite. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel out. And stay tuned for more Inktober videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!